basically Google's version of academic peer-reviewed content. So that's pretty much what Google Scholar is. So I always recommend start here in Google Scholar, and then once you get an idea of what you're looking for and you can see the type of hits you get, take that same searching data or your keywords and bring it to the databases and search in the databases, because then you're going to get way more hits. But to start off a search, I could say you can always do Google Scholar. So does anyone have a suggestion of what we can search? Someone give me a topic, because you guys know your area of expertise better than I do. So what would be a topic to search? Any suggestions?
About molecular diagnostics.
Okay, okay, we can do that. Well, let's try that. I'm just going to do molecular diagnostics. All right, so a couple of things I did want to explain. Now, when you do a Google search at home, and Google will automatically pick up your IPO address, and it will tell you where you can get the articles close to your proximity and your location. Of course, since I'm at WSSU, it's picking up WSSU's IPO address. So that's why you see WSSU. Of course, it also gives me the other locations as well as from ResearchGate. Nice things that's pretty cool about Google Scholar. You can, I know in most instances you're looking for information. I would say that you don't want it to be older than 5 to 10 years. So you can actually come over here to Sense. I would use the Sense button. And then you can actually shrink your searches and make sure all of the hits you get are going to be within that time frame that you select. So as you can see, there are a couple of articles. Let's say I was interested in this article, and what I would do is select the search WSSU, and then for you, when you're at home, you could definitely search, hit the other option. Give it a few minutes. It's thinking. Here's the PDF, and okay, now that's for something else I was looking up for someone. All right, so let's see if it actually. Let me get back to my search here. Here it is. So this is the article. Now, one thing I want you all to remember, please never ever pay for an article. Don't do that. Um, and the reason I say that is that because either I can find it or our interlibrary loan person should be able to find it. But please never pay for an article. If you can't find the full text of an article, send me the APA information. I definitely need the title, of course. I hate that. I need the title. I need the author's name. If you can send me the DOI, that would help as well. That way there's no discrepancy as to what type of article you want. And this is the DOI. The DOI stands for a Digital Object Identifier. It's this little funky number right here. And what happens if you cut and paste this DOI, you put it in a browser, the abstract will pop up. So remember, never ever pay for an article. Always, if you find an article and you get the abstract and you need the full text and you just can't find it, like I said, send me the APA citation or the DOI, or just send me all the pertinent information that I will need to make sure I get the article for you. And it normally takes me roughly between 24 hours. It takes me sometimes shorter than that to get it. But like I said, just make sure that please don't pay for an article. So this is Google Scholar. Google Scholar is if you're going to go to Google, make sure you're smart. Use something that's going to get you some hits instead of searching all of Google Scholar. I mean, instead of searching just all of Google. So now I want to show you another one, and this is Google's advanced search. And I really like Google's advanced search because one thing about Google's advanced search, This is information that has been shared globally by researchers, and they have agreed to share their information, and you can get some really good ideas by using Google's advanced search. And let me show you how you can do that. So let's stick with the same topic. If we dig molecular diagnosis. All right, so we have molecular diagnosis. So now if you scroll down, one of the cool things about Google Advanced Search is that you can tell it what site or domain you would like your retrievals from. So if you scroll over here, you see you have .edu, .org, or .gov. For health science and social science students, I always recommend that you look at .edu and .gov because education and government. So let's say for the sake of this search, I want to see what kind of hits I'm going to get or who has shared their research using about molecular diagnosis for .edu. So I'm going to do .edu. And this is another feature I love about Google's Advanced Search. You see here where it says any format. You can select the button. You can do PDFs. You can do PowerPoints. You can see any format. So I'm just going to do PDF. I'm going to hit Advanced Search. So now remember, I was very specific. I told it .edu and I told it I wanted PDFs. So everything you see here is going to be .edu because that's what we told it. So when you use Google, like I said, be smart and don't spin your wheels just using basic Google. Be very strategic and make sure you use Google's Advanced Search or Google Scholar. And you can always change it. So let's say if I'm interested in, let's say instead of PDFs, let's just try PowerPoint just for grins and chuckles. And let's see who has shared their information. EDU, of course, I'm still sticking with EDU, about PowerPoint. So let's look at Columbia University. Molecular diagnosis. I'm going to open the PowerPoint and let's see what we get. Let's give it a few seconds here and let's see what we get. So like I said, this is a smart way to search Google instead of randomly searching Google, where you're going to get all these hits that are, it just may be a waste of time. Be very strategic, tell it what site or domain, and then go ahead and tell it what particular format you want. PDF, PowerPoint, a document, what have you. So those are the really nice things that I do like about using those features for Google. So any questions about any of those? All right, so if you all don't have any questions about the Google Scholar, remember we looked at Google Scholar and we also looked at Google Advanced Search. So there's another feature in Google that I think you should take a look at and consider using, particularly when you have group projects, and it's Google Docs. And one of the nice cool things about Google Docs is that you can share content in real time, and when you have to work on a group project, it's really very user-friendly and easy to do. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. So I'm going to go to Google. I'm going to go ahead and sign into one of my accounts. All right, so I'm going to come over here. I want to go to the grid, and I'm looking for Google Drive. So I'm going to select Google Drive. So, and as you can see, I have a ton of documents in Google Drive, right? So let's say for this class, I want to create a new folder, and this is going to be a group project. So I'm going to do new. I want to do, actually not a folder, I want to do a Google Docs. And the name of this document is going to be, no thanks. I'm going to change the name. Now, I want you to take a look at something here. And this works just like Microsoft Word. So if you're familiar with Microsoft Word, this works the very same way. All right, so I'm going to say this is a molecular diagnosis paper or report. All right, so as you can see, one of the cool things about Google Drive, it automatically saves anything automatically. So you don't have to worry and say, oh, did I save it? Okay, I typed all this stuff, I didn't save it. Immediately go ahead and change your name. So let's cut and paste this. All right, so you'll see it works just like Word. So I'm going to put my paper, my title here. I'm going to change this to Times New Roman, and I want it to be 12 point. All right, and then I'm going to add, now you see how it's automatically going to save it. So my group members are going to be Cassie, Chad, Christine, and Nikki. All right, so these are my group members. All right, so I'm going to go get some content. I need to find some content right quick. I'm just going to cut and paste some content, put in my folder here and on my document. So this is my content. So I am done with my part. I decided to take the lead to create the project in Google, and then now I want to share this information with the rest of you, my team, so you can start adding content. So then I just want to fix this. I want to make this Times New Roman and make it 12 points so it can be consistent. So I got 12 point. And now I'm going to say Cassie can add her part here. And then this space is going to be for Nikki. Nikki can add her part here. All right. And then Chad can add his part here. All right. And then we can have Christine can add her part here. All right. So I have done my part. So now I want you to work on your parts. And what I'm going to do, so this is how you can get your other team members to work on the paper. And like I said, it saves the edits in real time. So I'm going to come to share. As you can see, it's only private to me. So I'm going to come to share. I'm going to make sure my link says can edit because I need you to be able to edit the content. So I don't want you to comment or view. I need you to edit. So I'm going to make sure can edit is highlighted. I'm going to get the shareable link. This is the shareable link. So what I want to do is I'm going to cut and paste this link, and I'm going to put it in the chat box. Normally what you could do, you can cut and paste this link and you can email it to your group members so they can work on it. So if any of you would mind, a couple of two people or all of you, go ahead and select the link in the chat box and then see if you can open that document. Now, it would help if you do have Gmail. If you have Gmail, that would definitely help. You don't have to have Gmail, but it really works if you do. It works really well if you have Gmail. So select the link and then follow the prompts. And then what will happen, I should see little modems pop up, and here goes some people. So if you can, go ahead and type in the document, wherever your name is, and let's see if we can see the edits in real time. Now, it has to say that you can edit. And I was having some issues the other day. So I see a couple of people are here. So you have to be able to edit. And I made sure I switched it to editing. So let's see if you guys can add some content too. Just type anything, cut and paste, type anything in the document. All right. So what are you guys seeing? Okay. All right, so Christine, let me see what you said. It had me send you a request to edit. I shouldn't have done that, but I'm going to share it again. You all should have the link. Let me try the link. Oh, okay. I'm going to get out of it. It had me send you a list. Okay, I don't know why I did that. You should just be able to type in and edit. Now, I see another mode come in there. Is anyone else able to actually type in anything?
Where did you say you get the link from?
Oh, if you look in the chat box here, Chad, see if you can select the link here in the chat
Oh, you
box.
go on Google and look in the chat box.
Well, actually, do you see a chat box for your GoToMeeting? So it's something GoToMeeting, you should see a chat box. And if you don't, I can email it to you. So let me try that. Oops. All right, so let me try this. I will try this. I will try and email the link to you. So I'm going to go to share. All right, so let's see. Chad, what is your Gmail account or email?
Let's see. You just want my WSSU, or I do have a Gmail. I hardly use it. If I can give that to you.
Okay, yeah, give me the Gmail because it would be easier if you have a Gmail account.
Okay, let's see. It's BC Melton 71 at Gmail.
Okay, now look on the screen and tell me if this is right. So is that your right email or Gmail account?
No, it's after Melton. It's 71, not MB.
Oh, okay. So Melton
Yeah.
71, no problem. So let's try. Okay, so
Yeah,
what?
just 71.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So I have can edit. All right, so I'm gonna send that to you, and then if you open your Gmail account, because I do want you all to see what it looks like, because you can edit in real time. And if that doesn't work, then we're going to move on. But I do want you to, I think this Gmail, Google Docs is so perfect to use because listen, when you have to work on a group project and you're writing, it's so cumbersome. One person adds this point and then they send an email and then somebody else adds another point and then they send an email. It's so much easier for you to do it in a Google Docs. All right, so I see someone, Chad, I see you joined. So you see how Chad, so Chad, go ahead and type some content. So you see how Chad, you see his name, he's typing in some content, and I'm working on it as well. So you can have people working on the project at the same time, and Google is saving all of this. So keep in mind, this is such an awesome collaborative tool to use when you have to work on group projects. So I did want to show you that because it's a lifesaver. It saves a lot of time, it tracks your changes, and it's really awesome. So guys, think about using Google Docs to work on your group projects. Any questions about the Google stuff that I've showed you guys so far? All right. Well, thank you, Chad, for signing on. And for those who tried to sign on and either I didn't have the right thing connected, but thank you for participating. I did want you to see what that looks like because, like I said, Google, this is an awesome tool. And this is one of the few tools that you can use to share content in real time. No other cloud software does that as of yet. At least I haven't heard anything. So Google is, I really love the fact that they do that. All right, so I'm going to close out my Google stuff. And now, guys, we are going to get to the databases. So I'm going to close out all this stuff. All right, so let me do this. I'm going to log into Blackboard because I do want to show you some things through Blackboard since I am embedded. Let me sign in the Blackboard here. And let me just see, make sure I'm in the right class. So now this is CLS3205. All right, so let's see. So now is this research?
Yeah, intro to research.
Awesome, thank you. That's what I needed. And intro to research. All right, so let me find it. I think I must have passed it. Let me find it. Intro to research. All right, awesome. So let's take a look. I'm going to log into WC. Okay, so I hope you have been using the Librarian's Corner tab. Let me turn this off so I don't mess up anything. And if you just want to try Blackboard, or Google Drive, I do have a short screencast that kind of walks you through what we did tonight. It's very, very short. And then these are some other tools that are available to assist you with Blackboard and citing and some other things. So let's get back to the Librarian's Corner and let's get to the research guide. All right, so the research guide, the LibGuide, is designed to assist you with your research. These are some of the databases that I hope you have started to use or tried to use to help find specific type of articles. I want to show you Sonal Plus with full text because this is one of my favorite ones. So it looks like I'm glad I did this because I need to make sure I fix the links. Something is going on with my links. All right, so let me jot this down right quick. I need to repair my links. Okay, so hopefully I'm going to work on this tomorrow. But if you come across this while you're in the database, I'm going to show you another way. Let me try another database here. I'm going to show you another way to access the databases when you come across issues with links. Okay, so let me see, does that one, okay, so that one is working. All right, so I'll definitely want to show you ProQuest. So I'm going to show you a backdoor way or another way to get to our resources if you come across that and the links seem to be a problem. So I'm going to go to the main page. I'm going to come to Quick Links, scroll down to CGO Kelly Library, and this is our main page. And we are actually going to take a look at the link here that says databases. So I'm going to select the link that says databases. And here we go. Okay, so this is an aggregated list of the database titles. We have quite a few, almost 350. But I'm going to show you some databases that I think would be germane to CLS that you would find useful. Let's take a look at Sonal. And once you get to this link, scroll down until you get to Sonal Complete. And I want us to take a look at the Connect button. So don't hit the Sonal Complete. Make sure you hit the Connect button. So let's hit the Connect button and let's get to Sonal. So this is the searching interface for Sonal. It's an EBSCOhost database. One of the nice things about EBSCOhost is that you can search multiple databases simultaneously. So what I did, I selected Choose Databases, and then now I'm going to just go through and select a couple of databases that I think would be useful. One, if you scroll over the comment box, as you see, the little synopsis will pop up to explain what kind of content is in these particular databases. So Academic Search Premier is definitely a really good one. I also like the health databases, of course. And don't forget about the psych databases. You can get some really good information in psych articles and in psych info. And I think, oh, and let's take a look at Medline. Sometimes you can get some really good stuff in Medline. So I have my databases. I'm going to go to Advanced Search. And let's take a look at, let's do alopecia. So now, so that it's doing that because I searched Medline. All right, so I just did a basic random search for an alopecia. And of course, we definitely need to minimize this because we are not going to be looking through 8,000 articles. So I'm going to do full text. So now, as I come over here, and as you see, hopefully the parameters, once I start using these parameters, this number should shrink. So I'm going to go to full text. It's update. And the only reason why it's doing that because it's updating, that's Medline's process. And I want peer reviewed. It's going to update again. And then the number should be shrinking. Look at that. It went from 8,000, we're down to 31. And in most instances, I would like to think you can only go back as far as between 5 years, maybe 5 to 10 years. So I'm going to just do 2010. At least I'm going to try. I'm going to highlight, do 2010, and I'm going to hit enter. And let's see what we get. let's see, and it went from 8,000, so we're down to 1282. So I just wanted some basic information about alopecia. So I'm going to scroll down, and if you take your mouse, you scroll over the magnifying glass, the abstract will pop up, and the abstract will let you know, hey, if this is something I'm interested in. The abstract is basically, of course, a synopsis of what the article is about. And you can just scroll over and, like I said, see if you're interested in any of these articles. So let's say I'm interested in this article. During my research, I'm going to add them to the folder. So I'm going to click on that blue button and add that one to the folder. And I'm interested in this one. I'm going to add this one to the folder and then this one. So during my search, I have found 3 articles that I'm interested in. I want to add these to the folder, and what I want to do is email them to myself so I can read them and look at them later. So I'm going to scroll all the way back up to the top. I'm going to go to the folder view here, or I can come to the folder view. Let's see, where did they move it? There used to have a folder view over here, but now I don't see it. So let me scroll down. Maybe it's down here somewhere. All right, so they must have moved it from there. So we're going to go to the folder view here. And now these are the 3 articles that I have placed in my folder. So I want to email these articles to my email because I want to look at them later. I'm going to select this button and just highlight. It automatically just highlights all 3. So now I'm going to go to email, and I want to email these articles. So what I'm going to do is just type in my name and my email address. Now, I highly recommend that you use your WSSU email, because in your email, a proxy is already built in. And if you don't use your email, if you use Hotmail or Gmail or something else, you may not get all of your attachments. And if you do, you may not be able to open them. So you can never go wrong with using your WSSU email. You can put in a comment box if you choose to. I'm going to put alopecia articles. I'm sure it's alopecia. I'm going to put in alopecia articles. Okay, I spelled it wrong again. Alopecia articles. That's my topic. I don't need a comment. Make sure that the rich text is highlighted and don't change it. Leave it on rich text. So now this is the part students absolutely love. I'm going to come over here to citation format. And my citation format I want is APA, of course. So I'm going to select APA. Now I'm going to hit send. And once you get that email confirmation, you hit continue, because you want to make sure that the email is right. Hit continue. So give it a few seconds. I should be popping up here because I still have my email open. I should see confirmations and those emails popping in. And and here's one, so that's the first one, and then the second one. Okay, so I am going to walk you through a process though to make sure that your citations are correct. So I did want to show you EBSCO. Like I said, EBSCO is one of my favorite databases, and I think you'll find it to be very useful. So I'm going to close out of EBSCO. And now I want to get back to databases here. We're going to go to ProQuest, because ProQuest, and what I did here, and I'm going to add ProQuest Nursing Allied Health. I'm going to add it on this page. Even though I know it's Nursing and Allied Health, I think it still would be useful. So I do want to show you ProQuest. So let's get to databases. I want to go to P, scroll down for ProQuest Nursing Allied Health. And let's hit connect. All right, so this is the searching interface for Nursing ProQuest Allied Health. Full text, I always recommend full text, peer-reviewed, and scholarly. I always recommend that you highlight those. So let's do molecular diagnosis here. And one thing you will see, like most of the databases, they try to be smart and do a pre-search. So I'm going to hit search. Now, the interface, look at that, those hits. The interface for for ProQuest is a little different, as you can see. So it's already given me my full text scholarly peer-reviewed, but we can shrink this 89,000 by scrolling all the way over to 2010. And it shrunk it a little bit. It shrunk it to 45,000. So you can definitely, and I'm just going to walk you through. If you take a look at the preview button, of course, the preview, the abstract pops up and you can figure out if this is something you're interested in. And if you are interested in any of these articles, this process is pretty much the same as the EBSCO. So I'm going to select this one. And let's say for the sake, I'm going to select this one. So these are the two articles I want to email to myself. So if you scroll up, you can select the Cite button, and it should cite those two articles and what you did. And if you want to email those articles to yourself, you come here. Now, one thing you do have to do, make sure, in order to ensure that you have the APA 6th edition, make sure that you select the Include Bibliographic Citations. That way, once you select that box, the drop-down will be enabled, and that way you can make sure you get the right edition. And of course, it's APA 6th edition. You put in your email address. Again, use your WSSU email. And then that way you can get your articles. So I've gotten my two articles. I'm going to scroll to make sure I get continue because I need to continue. And then I get my confirmation. So those are just two of the databases that we have. And of course we have others, but those are the two that I like to use a lot. Now, one thing I want you to take a look at too, we have a large selection of e-journals and e-books. So let's say you're looking for e-journals to see if we have any e-journals on molecular diagnosis. I'm just going to type in molecular diagnosis. I'm going to see if we have any e-journals. And we have a couple. So these are e-books and journals. Journal of Molecular Biomarkers and Diagnosis. And we have Molecular Diagnosis and Therapy. So whatever topic you have, if you just want to see what type of journals we have, just type it in the box and see what kind of hit you're going to get. What is another hot topic for CLS? Someone give me another hot topic for CLS. Like blood therapy, I don't know, bacteria. What would be another hot topic? I want to see if we have any journals that lends itself to that. So any suggestions? No suggestions? You guys don't?
What about MRSA?
Okay, awesome. I have no idea what that means, but that's awesome. MRSA, let's just see. And let's see if it's going to. So is that what MRSA stands for?
Yes.
Oh, look at that. So it is an ebook about MRSA. And how I know it's an ebook because it looks like a little mini book. So that's how you can use the e-journals and ebooks. And this is an ebook on MRSA. And it's fairly new. It's only 5 years old, so 2010. So that's not bad. That's still pretty good. So I just wanted to show you that because a lot of times students don't even look at the ebooks and journals, and you can definitely make sure you use this information when you're searching for topics for your research projects. So that is, oh, go ahead.
Are ebooks then they're appropriate to use as a reference?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. If you find an ebook that has the content that you need and you want to use it as a reference, absolutely. The difference is just make sure you cite it correctly. And if you will come to the research guide and you see I have APA citing examples, books, and ebooks, if you take a look here and scroll all the way down to the bottom, I actually have examples of how you can cite an ebook in text and in your reference.
Okay,
So this is where you can go because citing an ebook is a little bit different than just a regular book because of course you do have to give, so you have the pertinent information, and you have to give where that ebook is coming from. So if we were going to cite this ebook, I'm knowing me, I probably lost it. But anyway, if we were going to cite that ebook, we would definitely say it was retrieved from the ProQuest database. So and I do have examples. I do have examples of that. But yes, if you find an ebook as an excellent resource, absolutely, you can definitely use it to cite. So I wanted to show you something here. Let me get back to my ProQuest. So this is something that a lot of students like to do. And what happens here, let me open up a Word document. What happens is once you get your resources, right, you think, oh, I'm good to go. I got my resources. So now I can go ahead and just cut and paste and put it in my document. I want to walk you through quickly a couple of things to help you with your citing. Let me move this back out of the way. So let me do this. So let's say I'm going to highlight these articles because I need to get the APA citations. I'm going to do 6 of them. I just want the citations. So I'm going to come to Cite. So these are the citations, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to highlight these. I'm going to put them in my Word document because I want to walk you through a couple of things. This is what students love to do. They love to just, oh, I got my citations, I'm good to go. All right, so a couple of things. I call this the 4 cornerstones of APA citing. Number 1, when you export your citations from your database to your to your reference list, one thing to remember is that the vendors or the databases, they don't care about the font size and all of that. You have to be mindful of that. So a couple of things. APA has to be Times New Roman font, 12 point. It has to be 12 point Times New Roman font. Take a look at this. Now we just cut and paste these citations directly from ProQuest. Look at this. This is Verdana. It's not even 12 point. So first let's highlight this and let's make this 12 Times New Roman 12 point. All right, so we're still not totally done. One of the nice things about ProQuest is that it does alphabetize your articles for you, which is a good thing. Because remember, your reference list for APA, it has to be alphabetized. So it's Times New Roman 12-point font. The entire paper or your references have to be double-spaced. Your reference list, they have to be alphabetized. And remember your paper, it has to be a 1-inch margin, top, bottom, left, right. So if you're using Word to figure out the 1-inch margin, all you have to do is just come over to page layout, go to margins, and make sure it's already highlighted for normal. In your Word document, most documents are already on the 1-inch margin, top, bottom, left, right, but you just want to be you just want to double check. So I'm just going to highlight that to make sure my margins are 1-inch, top, bottom, left, right. So this is what your references should look like, but you have to go through and just make sure everything is right. And remember, the word references is on your page. However, it needs to be centered. So I'm just going to come here to center. And of course, I need to change my font to Times New Roman 12. So now my reference page, it looks like it is on the money. But you still have to go through and just make sure. So a couple of things. If you have a citation and it has this little funky number at the end, and remember I mentioned the DOI earlier, the Digital Object Identifier. So if I were to take this number and cut and paste this and put it in the browser, the abstract about this article should pop up. So let's give that a go. So I'm going to take that, put it in this browser, and let's see something of the abstract. And here it is. So this is the purpose of the DOI. So if a citation has the DOI, make sure you have it at the end of the citation because it is part of the citation. One thing else to remember, if you take a look at the DOIs, and we have several, they all look like a good bit of them, they have DOIs, you notice there are no periods at the end. So don't say, oh, okay, this is missing a period. No, it's not. APA is very particular, and in their mindset, the DOI is the period. So don't come and put a period at the end of your DOIs, because your professors will take off for that. And most of these, and this one doesn't have a DOI, but most of these, they do have a DOI. And as you can see, some of the citations they will have, if you notice, the citations with the DOI, you do not have to have retrieved from EBSCOhost database. Now, if you have a citation and if it does not have a DOI, that is when you place in, you see here, this citation, they don't have DOIs. Maybe this journal just did not want to produce a DOI. So you would have to have retrieved from ProQuest and the account. And you can get the permalink from the database. But however, if you use the citation tool, it'll put it in for you. So if you see retrieved from, that means that this particular articles, they did not have the DOIs. So if you see the DOIs, then that means you don't have to have the retrieved from. This kind of like replaces the retrieved from, because like I showed you, I could just cut and paste that number, put it in the browser, and the article will pop up. So I did want to show you, if you do use the citation tools, that is not a problem. Just make sure you come back and you clean it up and you make sure that it's 12-point font Times New Roman. The page is 1-inch margin, top, bottom, left, right, and that, of course, everything is double spaced. So now if you will come here, we're going to go back to the research guide. If you come to the research guide and get to the APA Citation Center, I have an example here of what an APA paper should look like. Let's take a look at that briefly. So I'm going to do that. And it walks you through, this is from the OWL at Purdue. They do some really good work. So it gives you all the little bits of information. You have to have your running head. Your running head must appear on the first page, of course. And subsequent pages, you still have your title, but you don't have the word running head. The word running head only appears on the first page. And remember, for APA, don't be creative. APA is very particular. They want the page number top right. So don't put it top bottom, top middle, top left. It has to be top right. Now, this paper is an excellent example of how to use in-text citations. They give you some good examples of in-text citations. When you write a well-written research paper or report, you have to have in-text citations to cite where you got your data from while you were working on your project. So let's take a look at a couple of things. So, for example, and I do have this broken down on my APA citation tab, but I'm going to show you a couple of things. So anytime you have 3 authors or more, depending on the number, you see how you have Cummings, Butler, and Kraut, 2002. Well, this is the first citation for Cummings, Butler, and Kraut. However, the author of this article is going to use the same reference multiple times throughout the paper. So the first citation, he has Cummings, Butler, and Kraut, which is right. So if we scroll down, so here he's using the same article again. He's referencing the same article again. So this time you see he uses Cummings et al. So you don't have to have this all the way through. When it's 3 or more, you only have Cummings. You have the full 3, Cummings, Butler, and Kraut. And then, of course, for subsequent citations, you only have Cummings et al. So and let's scroll down, and I want you to take a look at the reference page. So you see how the reference page looks? Of course, you have your running head, and not the word running head, but just your title. Your references is again centered. It's not bold, it's just centered. Of course, your page number, and then here we go with the Cummings reference, and then you have all of your references. So this is what an example of what an APA reference page should look like. So now if you come to the citation, I did want to show you this. Let's take a look at, let's do books and ebooks. One thing to remember when you're looking at in-text citations, when you get to 6 or 7 authors, in the in-text citation, and let's back up, when you get to 3 or 4, well, we talked about the 3 or more, but once you get to 6 authors in your in-text citation, you do not list all of the names in the in-text citations at all. So you see how it has Marcus et al. For the first in-text citation, and it's the same for the second subsequent in-text citations. So I walk you through, I show examples of all of that. So now in a reference list, of course, you do list all of the authors in the reference list when you have 6 to 7. Now here's a trick. If you have a reference that has 8 or more authors, APA only wants to see 7 authors. That's it. They don't want to see any more names than 7. So take a look at how that works. So if you have 8 or more authors, you're only going to list 7 authors on the reference page. So this is how you do that. You list the first 6 authors of the reference, and then number 7 is going to be the very last reference in that article. So this article, believe it or not, this was 17 authors. I am not kidding. It was 17 authors. So APA only wants they only want 7. They don't want all 17. They only want 7. So what you do, you list the very 6 first authors, and that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the very last name for that article was Hamid, and he makes number 7. And the reason why I want to show you this, because I don't want you to come across an article that has 20 authors and you don't use it because you're not sure how to cite it. So that's why I designed this page to basically walk you through how to write up those citations. So these are examples in your reference list. This is what's going to be on that reference page. And this is what it looks like in your in-text citation in your actual report or research paper. So take a look, and I also have examples for journals. I also have examples for websites and videos. So if you get stuck, and if you don't have the APA book, you can also take a look at how some of these are cited on the web, on the CLS page here. So any questions about what we reviewed? We looked at some Google stuff. We also looked at some of the databases that we have. And guys, I'm going to go ahead and fix some links here. And I'm going to add another database that I want to add here. So we looked at that. And don't forget about PubMed, because PubMed is another really good database to search. So don't forget about searching PubMed. And please, like I said, if you come across any type of an article, and if you can't find the full text, email me the APA citation or the DOI. Email me some content about it, and that way I'll look for it for you. So any questions, guys? Because that's basically it. I think I covered everything. I think I covered everything that I wanted to show you. Do you all have any particular questions? Anything that you wanted me to search specifically? So now also too, I did want to show you this. And let me see if I can. When you go to sign on to the databases, let me see if I can find it. I thought, all right, good. When you go to sign on to the databases, you're going to get to the proxy. Just go ahead here and put in your username, which is, of course, your email address minus the @rams.wssu.edu, and your password is your banner ID number. And please don't share the banner ID number with anybody. The banner ID number is basically your social security for WSSU. The only way you would use your banner ID number is if your faculty member asks you for that number to place on the paper, or they just want you to write it for them. But outside of that, make sure you don't share your banner ID number. And I think, as I did want to show you what that proxy looks like. And I think, guys, I think that is basically it. So any questions for me? Anything I could help you search for while we're here? So I will be sending you all an email to complete an assessment for me. So please take the time and complete it for me and let me know what things do I need to add, or what things that did you think that I left out, or just share your thoughts and suggestions. So if you don't have any questions, that basically is it. That's what I wanted to review with you. So I hope this was helpful.
It was. Thank you.
All
Yeah,
right,
very much.
guys.
Thank.
Good, good. Well, I'm glad. So if you have any questions, the best way to contact me, shoot me an email.
Okay. Well, be ready.
Okay, no problem. Just shoot me an email. All right, guys. So if you don't have anything else, then that's it. So I'll catch up with you all later.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thanks. Have
You're
a good night.
welcome. You guys have a good one.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye-bye. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Good night.
You too. Good night.